What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Times.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So, welcome to Wednesday's discussion. So, again, we're going back to the regular format. So, Monday and Tuesday are our topics. Wednesday's discussion, excuse me, voice cracking. Thursday is either going to be a throwback where we go back to the other 502 episodes right in the archive, or we do an Ask a SSP where I talk to somebody who's either in the industry or trying to break into the industry. And then they provide their questions or tools to help you, the audience, progress as well. And then Friday's everything else: movies, books, games, TV show, all that good stuff. So that's the non-cyber related episode. It's Fridays. So we have a good time. Without further ado, I'll give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article is actually from Daily Dot, written by Michael Thalen. And it's Ransomware gang files complaint with SEC complaining victim didn't promptly announce the breach. So when I read this, I felt like David at the dentist. I was like, is this real life? Like who in a ransomware gang would be like, hey, we'll go to a federal agency and say, hey, these guys aren't reporting this breach. You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? And as I thought about it a little bit more, right? I think it's because they want the notoriety, right? Like they don't want to be famous. They want to be infamous, right? Type thing. They're like, look at what we did, right? And look at these people not following the rules that you guys set forth, right? So for me, the discussion is this going to be the new way forward, right? Because if you bring it up like this, like you see, this is one of those things where nobody's really concentrating on the fact that the ransomware gang, did something they shouldn't have done. The concentration is on it not being reported like it should be, right? Because everybody wants to be notified, of some type of breach or something along those lines, right? Because I think even though we're on here every week and we're telling people, hey, pay attention to this, that, and the third, I think it is getting more to the forefront. Like I'm starting to see more mainstream media report on these types of things. You know what I mean? Now, whether it be that they're hitting things that are more important now, you know what I mean, that they care more, or maybe like I like to think. I don't want to say I like to think because it's kind of a blessing in disguise, but because of COVID and with everybody doing work from home and it being more prevalent with people being on electronics, that it just is getting more attention. You know what I mean? Like it's getting the clicks, more or less, right? But yeah, you got this ransomware gang, Alpha V. I don't know if that's how you
Yeah, I'll say Alf V.
Alf V, yeah, because there's no
Yeah.
A after the Alf, but Alf V, right? And they're also referred to as Black Cat. We've talked about them numerous times on here before, right? But they're saying they hack software company Meridian Link, and they want to make their data public, right? Unless a ransom's paid. But not data link, Meridian Link didn't dispose the breach like they were supposed to based off new SEC rules, right? But those rules don't actually go into effect until December 15th. So they're trying to hold them to a standard that is not actually into effect for another few weeks out, right? But still, for Black Cat, for them, this is one of those things where it makes them look good, right? They're like, hey, we fooled you, we breached you, right? Like you should be letting people know that we breached you, right? And make sure let them know Black Cat was here. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what they're looking for, is that they want the, like I said, they want to be infamous. They want the notoriety to say, hey, we out here giving it to these companies. You know what I mean? Like at this point, like that could be one of those things where it's better than the ransom. You know what I mean? Like the fact that that people know you're out there, so this could be a good recruiting tool for them, even. You know what I mean? Like they're like, hey, we out here getting these software companies that should know better. Like if you want to be on your A game, if you want to join the creme de la creme of ransomware gangs, like come on over to Alpha V, aka Black Cat. You know what I mean? But yeah, this was just an interesting article to me. Like, right, who commits a crime and then snitches on themselves, right? Like, are these the new rappers? You know what I mean? Like, this what's going on here? Like,
Tired your producer dancing all up in your video.
you know what I mean? Like, what is going on here? Like, rappers out here, talking about crimes they committed. It's like a Key and Peele skit, right? Like, it was
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah.
Darnell, you know. Like, all right, well, it's nice that you're trying to keep people, keep people honest, but now you've drawn the attention of some other folks you probably don't want to, right? Like, because we've seen the FBI get real and start like working with other countries and whatnot. Like we've seen multinational task force go out there and try
Yeah.
to slow this stuff down. So I think they're confident enough in their skills to where they're like, nah, but look at what we did, right? Like we hacked these guys and they didn't report it. Ha ha. As they're sitting back laughing, all of a sudden the door blows.
They use charges on the door.
Yeah, yeah, like, they're not messing with these guys anymore. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, like this is. I wonder if this is what's going to start happening in the future, right? Like, well, especially after December 15th, right? Like it's one of those things where come December 15th, this rule is going to go into effect where you need to be reporting these breaches within a certain amount of time. But we're I don't know. We're gonna see where this goes. I don't because here's the thing. Here's why I say this. If for whatever reason, like 2 weeks from now, we're doing an article where Black Cat, like all of a sudden they've found a cell somewhere, right? And they've shut them down and they've dealt them a heavy blow. Like maybe they'll be like, all right, maybe we should go back to being in the shadows again. Maybe that wasn't a good look, you know what I mean? But we'll see. Like only time will tell, right? But I'm sure we're gonna hear from Black Cat again because we've heard about him several times before and we've reported on him before. So this is nothing new. But Ryan, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Because I have to say in the middle as well. That's what the algorithm tells me. But I see. I didn't take it from that perspective. That's a very interesting perspective of notoriety. I was thinking it just is part of the tactic as well. You're dragging your feet. Like we've already notified you that we breached you. You're dragging your feet. Now I'm gonna get you in trouble. So I thought it was just an escalation of the tactic. Like not only will we release your information, but we're also going to tell the SEC, which is going to potentially send you to trial because now we're seeing sizzles going to court. So I just thought it was part of the escalation. Like, okay, we breached you, we asked for the money, you're dragging your feet. Like SEC is going to hold you to a new standard, and you did not self-report, and we know that. So now we're going to tell on you. We're going to make it worse for you because you did not give us our money.
Is,
Is
is
what I took of it.
But is the fine going to be less than what they have to pay in the ransom, though? You know what I mean? The fine they're going to get from the SEC. How much is that going to be compared to whatever Black Cat, Alfie, whatever is out?
I I don't know. Is it worth your job? Right? Like you, Sizzo, is it worth you still sitting in the seat because you're like we're wrong because we're criminals. You're wrong because you're not disclosing it to your people. So like again, like that's why you shouldn't pay the ransom. Like you cannot trust these ransomers. Like they will steal from you. They will come back to steal from you. They will now snitch on you. Like there's no honor amongst thieves. So like if anything, this should be more of a signal that like quickly get them out of your systems, report it to the government, report it to your people, and move on. Because like they are like LV is setting a new standard for the rest, like for Revels and all the other Revel pretty much got shut down, but whatever remnants of them is left over. Um, they're pretty much setting up a new standard. Like, okay, get your money, double back, get your money again, or telling them and release the information anyway. Like they're getting to the point where it's just like you have to pay them or you have to not pay them. We opt on to not paying them. Like they're going to screw you over anyway. Because we talked about it a couple weeks ago where you pay them and then they still release the information anyway. So you cannot trust them. You cannot trust the ransomers. Like it's just it's they're telling you they're identifying themselves as not trustworthy because A, they came in there to steal the stuff, B, they released the stuff anyway, and now C, they snitching on you. They're dropping dimes on you to the SEC. And SEC is not playing. Like as you like we talked about who's the SolarWinds CISO is now going to trial. And then there was another CISO that's was it Twitter? I can't remember, but there's another one on the chopping block where basically they didn't disclose quick enough or they didn't disclose properly. So now the SEC is taking on the trial. So even though the rule didn't go into effect to December 15th, there's already cases lined up. So like the ransomers know what they're doing. They're really good at what they do. So you have to quickly opt out. You have to quickly get it out the way. Like deal with the breach while also talking to the government, while also notifying your people, talking to you, Mr. Cooper, um, and get this out of here because they are not to be trusted. Like it's just like point blank. I don't know. I don't know where to go from there. Like because we're going to see it again. Like it's going to happen again. We're going to see it again probably this month or next month where somebody's just like, I paid them and then they still did me dirty. Like, just stop paying them. Like, make it not worth their time or effort.
Yeah,
But
that's really what you got to do is like make it to where and here's the thing again, like we talked about with the multinational task force and whatnot. Like if you're only making it to where, all right, I'm not paying you anything and you're on the government's radar or you're on multiple governments radar, like yeah, eventually you gotta just play that and just be like, because here's the thing, people are gonna forget about it after a little bit of time anyway,
yeah,
right? I've forgotten how many times T-Mobile has been hacked when I was with them to where it was just like, who cares? You know what I mean? So
yeah, I have so much LifeLock that I've not cashed in. Like, because they give it to you, you don't even use it anyway. So they're buying it in bulk, right? Like they have like a deal with some kind of vendor like LifeLock, and then they give it to you, and you don't activate it or use it anyway. Like you've been desensitized to your data being distributed and sold to the point where you're just like, meh,
yeah, but it's to the point where you can't even use it because you're already using it. You know what I mean? Like because it happened
because
so
the overlap. Like you
I'm
already got this,
like you already have an account. What are you talking about? Like why are you getting another one? Well, so and so
right?
I need it now. You know what I mean? So
Ridiculous. But like, yeah, don't pay the ransomers, but also follow your own instant response plan and whatever regulations you're under, which in this case they're under the SEC. Follow those because now ransomers have another point of interest, right? Like because they're tracking as well. Like they want to see how much damage, like you said, the notoriety. They want to see their name out there. They want to see how much damage they did, and then when they don't get that notoriety, they're like, well, now we have another button we can push. We can hit our boys up at the SEC to do you in. I guess it's crazy. It's crazy out here, but yeah, don't pay them. Like don't feed the stray cats, and then you might luck out in this case. But again, I digress. But please continue to tune in to the podcast. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit us up by all the websites that go by our name. You give me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. You can find me on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, and Threads. Stay safe, stay secure.